Hey guys, it's Carlos here. Today I'm going to be explaining how you can use Facebook ads profitably in 2024 onwards. And there are a lot of people out there telling you this is the best ad strategy there is. These are the best ad creatives you need to use, but they don't show you how to do it. And of course, what their thought process behind their strategies actually is. So quick disclaimer, there's no such thing as a best way to test products with paid ads. But what I do know is that the strategy that I will be sharing with you guys today is working for me still to this day. And I can't wait to share it with you, so let's dive into it. Alright guys, so as you can see my screen right now, there are basically two approaches of Facebook ads testing, which I use in order to profitably launch my ads most of the times, okay? There's no such thing as everything will work. So with that, you basically should also keep in mind that the product that you pick, your entire landing page, the checkout that you use is all a part of the chain in order to eventually, get the purchases in. Because if one part of that chain is missing, then you can launch whatever you want, but it's not going to work. But in order to facilitate your process, in order to launch profitably, I've basically written down two approaches that you can implement right after this video, and I'll also sharing with you guys how we're gonna set it up actually in Facebook by also sharing my screen here, so you can see exactly what I do, how I do it, and how you can do the same. Okay, so first of all, the main approach that me and my clients are using is the CBO campaign structure. And what does this mean? A CBO campaign structure is basically that you allocate a budget on campaign level in Facebook ads. Okay, so with that, you have basically campaign level, of course, ad set level, and ad level. The campaign level is, like I said, where we allocated the budget to for CBO campaigns. On ad set level, we can actually target specific interests related to our product in order to find the right audience for the products that we test, right? And on ad level, of course, we have the specific creatives. So think about images, videos, ad copies, headlines, everything related to that actual visual thing of your product in order to attract the customer's attention, right? With basically who you're targeting on ad level, on ad set level, okay? So with that being said, how it looks like, super simple. This is the most easy, simple approach in order to start testing products on Facebook, is we use one CBO campaign and we allocate 50 euros or dollars, however you will use it, towards the campaign. This, of course, does not mean that we will spend the entire 50 if it's not working, okay? We don't want to overspend when it's not working, so we want to kill basically quickly in order to make quick decisions. But in order to do that, you should also understand how to analyze. And that is something that we will do in the next videos, okay? But to just stick to this subject, the Facebook ads testing overview, on ad set level, we use just one ad set. So depending what kind of product you're using, if it's gonna be, let's say, a general product, or maybe a product that is related to fashion, then you have also specific audiences you can target, right? So for example, if I sell like a men's shirt or whatever, then what we want to do for male products is use broad targeting with no interest. The same actually for basically women products. The only thing is we will use genders, both men and women. Why? Women basically also buy most of the times from men in terms of clothing. But what I have seen is that for women products, men don't buy products for women. So with that, when you're selling a women product, I normally disclude male as a gender, because I don't see it very often that basically men buy stuff for their women, okay? So that's just something that I do, okay? So with that, for general products, so if you have a product that is not related to a specific gender or male products, we use a no interest targeting, and I will show you guys in a second how we do that and what I mean by that. And basically very broad is that. So literally we have no targeting at all, and we basically allow Facebook with the budget that we spent on campaign level to find the right audience for us using their strong algorithm, okay? So that's going to be also based, of course, on a pixel, the data that you've gathered. And the pixel that you have, that basically means that all the data you gathered over the campaigns that you ran earlier for, let's say, lead campaigns or whatever it might be, right? You're collecting data of the customers that you've targeted, or let's say the leads. And that specific data, based on the data that you built up by the campaigns that you build up over time, then your pixel with the data becomes stronger, becomes larger. So Facebook can optimize more quickly and better in order to find the right audience for you for the next products that you will test, okay? So while you're basically testing and you're spending the entire 50 budget and you're not getting any purchases, that's not a complete loss at all. You've basically bought data at that point. So your pixel became stronger and you can right now perform better for your next campaigns if you continuously test, of course. So for a women product, if it's going to be a product related for women, so let's say fashion, and you're basically going to sell women boots or women's shoes, whatever it might be, then I normally use also no interest targeting, but I only use the gender women. Okay, and with that, of course, we have under every ad set 3 ad creatives, and for CBOs we only use 1 ad set. So it's super simple. We use just 1 CBO campaign, 1 ad set, and then 3 creatives. Okay, so in one of my earlier videos I also shared you how you can basically use these and create these ad creatives yourself in terms of images, and what you can do for videos as well, and of course using the right ad copy using ChatGPT is super simple. And we do the exact same for women products, okay, with 1 ad set and 3 ad creatives. So if you're going to use an ABO, that's also possible, then it's going to be slightly different, because on ABO we're going to allocate our budget not on campaign level but on ad set level. So what that means is the entire budget of, let's say 50, if we round it off, then we will have 5 ad sets instead of 1. So as you can see here, I've basically drawn a line here to basically show you what this means. So what we do is with 5 ad sets is we gonna create first one, and then we duplicate that specific one 4 more times, and under each ad set will be the exact same ad creatives attached basically. So under these ones you will see all the 3 ad creatives under each, as well as you will see in CBO, okay, under 1. So there's gonna be 5 ad sets, and basically the exact same approach when it's a male or general product. We use no interest broad targeting. For women, like we did earlier, no interest women targeting, okay? The only difference is we're gonna spend 10 euros at least. I would suggest if you can spend more, if you have the pocket allowance, then you are just gonna buy more data more quickly, then do it, okay? Because you are able to basically make quicker decisions from that point. So if you can spend maybe 100 a day, then do that, okay? So with that, we have 5 ad sets, and each of these have a budget of 10 euros. If we use a 50 euro overall campaign budget, then each ad set will have 10 euros of spent per ad set basically. And under these ad sets, of course, all of them have, let's say, those 3 ad creatives. Okay, so I will show you guys in a second how we're gonna do that, how we set it up, because it might still sound like rocket science, but it will be very self-explanatory when you see me doing it inside the ad manager. Okay, so I just want to show you guys something what is very, very important, and that is the 5 stages of awareness, because you can basically advertise with a purpose and without purpose. What I mean by that is you have a product, for example, and you have a product that will basically solve weight loss, right? You're basically having a product that will be targeted for people who are willing to lose weight, or maybe they're not even aware of they're willing to do that, right? Look, there are several stages of awareness. And what that means is we have a stage where people are unaware of the problem that they might have. Then we have basically the stage where people are aware of the problem that they have. Basically the stage where they are solution aware, so they also know with the problem that they have how to solve it. Then they have product aware, so they how to solve it with the right product, most likely the product that you're selling, at least that's what we want. And the most aware is basically people that are aware of the product, that they're aware of, basically aware of the problem, of the solution and the product. And yeah, as you can see here as well, they know of your product as well and what it does, but haven't gotten around to purchasing it yet, okay? So, of course, your biggest lead pool are the people who are unaware, because most likely the people, they don't know you, and most likely they don't know the offer that you're right now selling, right? So with that, you have most chances of reaching the biggest audiences here. And here it will be maybe 2 to 3% of the total audience for the product that you're selling will be basically in this lead pool, okay? So what you need to do in order to basically target specific audiences, so most likely the people in the beginning that are unaware, then for example, for your weight loss product, you can use stories and secrets to basically tell about, you know, the product that you're selling, to make them problem aware. So if people are maybe a little bit overweight, but they're not very aware of it, right? then you can tell them, hey, you're just gonna tell them a story or a secret about them being maybe unaware, in order to make them aware of the problem that they might have, or they're maybe aware of it, but they don't want to basically admit it, right? So when they're problem aware, then you can basically call the benefit and, them being anxious about, proceeding with what they have right now. For example, when they're anxious, what will happen for them next? Or the benefits that they will get when they basically will solve that problem that they have, right? That they are aware of it. So when they're solution aware, right, then you can trigger them with proof and trust in order to get them, to be your buying customer. And proof and trust, as you can see here as well, they know there is a solution to their problem that they have. They are aware of it, right? They know the solution, but they don't know of any specific products to solve it. Your product is that product that will solve that problem, right? So you make them aware of the solution, and once they are product aware, you can offer deals and discounts. You can, whatever you want to do, right? Price manipulation, and that does not work in all cases, of course. So that is very important. What you do then is actually having your product, basically that you market it in a way with discounts or deals that you offer, and that you also basically just mention it, right? That they are aware of the discounts and deals that you have for that product that will solve their problem. And that's basically in this stage, the fourth stage. And of course, when they are most aware, when they know everything of it, but they haven't found the product, then yeah, you can just directly tell them, hey, this is the product that I have for your problem. This is the price. Here you can buy it. Okay. So we call the top of funnel, bottom of funnel, and middle of funnel. Okay. So if they're in the top of funnel, like I said earlier, then they are just unaware. In the middle of funnel, they're already a bit aware basically about the problem and also the solution, but they have not found that product yet. And the bottom of funnel, then you can directly solve it with the problem that you have and tell them the price that you're offering. So why is this so important? If you're having a specific product that you're testing, right, in your testing phase, or you're maybe already in scaling phase, and you don't know how to basically approach that specific audience group, maybe you want to retarget people that have visited your store but have not made the purchase yet, then you want to understand that when they're product aware, that you can offer them discounts or deals in order to still get them in. Or when you are very, very cold, you're targeting complete new audience, then you should first break it with stories and secrets to make them aware of a problem that they might have. Because you cannot have someone, that's completely unaware directly, put them in the face with products and with discounts and deals, for example. Most likely they are very, very skeptical and they won't make the purchase because they first of all are not even aware of the problem that they have. So why do they need to have the product that you're selling, right? So you need to very well understand that for each approach, each stage, right, there is a specific thing that you can do that I normally do in each stage in order to target a specific audience group, right? And not everybody is the same. So with that, if you implement this, and you know that if you're a complete beginner, that you start with stories and basically secrets about the problem that you can solve with your product, then you're slightly but surely getting towards them being very aware of your product being the best product there is to solve their problem. And then they're willing to give you their credit card. So I hope that it makes a little bit more sense. But this is super important in order to advertise properly and to not just, let's say, throw your product in their face while they're not even aware of the problem or let's say the solution that you have or the problem that they might have, right? So that is very important. And besides these testing overviews, let's say, of CBO and EBOs, and also what we have basically spoken about of the awareness, we're right now going to dive into the Facebook ads, okay? So this is my campaign structure of Valenta, one of the ad accounts that I used for it. And as you can see here, I cannot create a new one in here because this one is not active anymore, but I will do it on basically a ad account that is not used yet, like this one, for example. And I will show you guys how we're going to create a new campaign for both CBOs and EBOs, okay? So what we do first is we want to, of course, create a new campaign. So once you've basically created your ad creatives, you've set up your entire store, you have done product research, what you can also find, of course, in the earlier videos that I've created, Then what we want to do next in order to launch your product is to create campaigns, right, with paid ads, because that's basically where you get the quickest bang for your buck, right? So what we do in here, when you're in the ads manager, you're gonna click on create, okay? And then we see, of course, the buying type. We always use auction, and we always go for sales because we want to have conversions, right? Awareness, traffic, engagement, leads, or app promotions will not give us the results that we want, which is a buying customer. So we click on sales and we go for conversions, of course. Then we click on continue, and we always use the manual sales campaign. You can also use Advantage Plus. To be very honest, you can use it. It's I know a lot of people are using it as well. It's going pretty well for them. I always use manual sales campaign. I've always done it from the beginning. It's still working best for me. That's why I also will show you guys right now what's working for me, so you can do the same if you want, of course. Okay, so we click on continue. And we will start with CBO, okay? So I'll just call it CBO, and we just call it, let's say, product 1. And in here, you're gonna use a different approach, which is gonna be your profit margin. So for example, if you know, hey, I have 21 euros profit with all costs deducted from it, right? Then your profit margin will be 21 euros, excluded the ad spend, okay? So 21 euros. So when you analyze it and you see, for example, you have a cost per purchase of 12 euros, then you know that you're profitable and you can then scale it up potentially. So that's very important for me as well to analyze when I have, let's say, hundreds of ads live, or let's say in my ad manager. Then I want to directly see, okay, which product is it, right? And what is my profit margin in order to understand if I'm even profitable. So what we do next in here, we see campaign details, and we just basically turn this one off, okay? Because we're not gonna advertise a catalog. Okay, so we turn that off. Then we see here advanced campaign budget. This is basically what CBO means. Okay, so we turn this one on, and like I said, we're gonna use 50.88. Okay, why use 88? That 88 cents is most likely a little bit more than what most people are spending, who are spending 50, and that way, I believe we get basically more qualified customers as we are spending more, 88 cents more on Facebook. But that will basically tell Facebook as well that we are able to spend more, and we most likely get better customers. Okay, so that's why I use 50.88. And then when we scroll down, this is literally it on campaign level, literally. Okay, so you only need to allocate the budget, and this of course is in pounds, because this is ad account is set up in pounds. But if you have dollars or euros, just use 50.88. Okay, you don't need to translate it, or let's say calculate it in order to have the right basically calculation for it. Just use 50.88 and you're good to go. Then we click on next, and like I said, this is super simple. The only thing we need to do in here is using a no interest targeting, right? We use no interest here, like we said here in my row, right? We use one ad set with no interest. And let's say this is just a general product, so no male or women, then we are not gonna disclude men, of course, okay? So we're not gonna only include women at that point. So what we do then is we use here always maximize numbers of conversions, and we include the pixel that we have, okay? So once you have your pixel set up profitably, then the only thing we need to do is click here on purchase, because the event we want, the conversion event, is of course the purchase, right? So then we scroll down and we see here budget and schedule. So for example, today is the 10th of October, tomorrow it will be launch day, and it will be always at 1 a.m. in the morning. You can also do 5 a.m. I always schedule it normally between 1 to 7 a.m. And that basically means that it will spread out the entire budget that we allocated to campaign level throughout the entire day, instead of just spending it in a very small time frame, right? Then we cannot make calculated decisions. So when we scroll down here, you see locations. So depending on where you're selling, in my case, it would be Germany, right? For my stores. Then you use Germany, and that's it. Okay, we scroll down. You can also see here more options. You can use a minimum age if you want to, etc. Also even add a language. If you only want to have people that are speaking German, for example, then you can do that, right? And you can include only people in Germany, because most likely when you're selling in Germany or in whatever country you're selling in, you're only going to use that native language. At least that's what I do. So when we scroll down in here, you use the beneficiary here, and you just include name. That doesn't really matter. You can also just use a new name, and that will be used for the ads. Okay, so that's it. That's what we do on ad set level. So for CBOs, like I said, it's super simple. That's it. What we do then is in here is including ad creatives. Okay, so what I always do, I use one still image, as you might have seen in my earlier video. I use one collage, and I use 1 carousel. Okay, that equals 3 ad creatives, right? So image 1, video 1, image 2 or video 2, and image 3 or video 3. You can also see this as carousel 1, right? Doesn't really matter. So how I set this up is I first of all select my Facebook page, right? So I select my Facebook page. Then in here, I'm going to use image 1, for example, and ad copy 1. Why do we only use 1 ad copy, for example, and 3 images or videos? Because we only want to use 1 metric to test at a time. When, for example, 1 image is working, the other 2 not, but 2 ad copies are working, then we don't know what the actual trigger was when we use ad copy 2 here and ad copy 3 here, if it was either the carousel or the ad copy that worked better. So we always want to use just 1 metric to test at a time in order to make calculated and basically educated decisions when we are analyzing, okay? That's very, very important. So what we do here, we just scroll down, ad setup, create ad, manual upload, single image or video, of course. And in here, we add our media, okay? So we add image. And right now what I'm going to do, I uploaded them already in here. I'm going to use this as main image, for example, still image, click on done. That's it. And the primary text is going to be an ad copy, right? So the ad copies that I created in an earlier video, you can use as well. And basically in order to determine, okay, you know, what kind of ad copy is working, I used a prompt that I uploaded in my earlier video that you can use for every single ad copy that you want in order to basically have a good working ad copy, okay? So the primary text will just be ad copy 1 here. I just keep it simple. This is just for the setup, okay? The headline is what I think even more important than the ad copy. That will also, as explained in an earlier video, be something that is just catchy and that makes people to click here on shop now, okay? So this one we want to have, of course, pointed out to shop now. And we just use, for example, headline 1. Yeah, this is something, of course, that you're going to use for your product, number 1 benefit or this discount or whatever you have. And then, for example, with a pointed finger towards the shop now button, right? In the description, I just use something like free shipping, right? And shop now as it's done. And in here, you use your website page URL. So not the entire website, but your product page, okay? That's basically where people will land on in order to make the purchase, okay? Then we scroll down and we see here in event details and everything that, for example, the tracking, etc., has been set up. And once you've done this, the next thing that we will do is, of course, make a duplication of this one to create image 2 and carousel 1 as well. So we click on duplicate and we make that 2 times. So for this one, for example, the only thing what we are going to change when everything's been set up is just the image. Okay, so what we do then, when we scroll down, we're going to delete this media. We can add a new image. I'm going to use the college one, for example. And that's going to be image 2. And for the third one, what we do, of course, instead of calling it image 1, you can call it image 3 or you can call it carousel 1. That's up to you. And we are going to click here then as well on carousel instead of single image or video. Okay, that's the only difference that you will make. So carousel 1, and we click here on add cart. So what I always do is I use 3 up till 6 cards. Those are basically images with basically no text, nothing in it. Okay, those are just the variants that I use of the product that I have. For example, for fashion in my case, if you're using a problem-solving product, then it can actually be several hooks of that video, or let's say of that image that you have of that product, in order to make people scroll to find out basically what the product is and what it does. Okay, so in my case, it would be, let's say, this image. Then I click here on headline 1, of course, you use the exact same. I just use very simple, of course, because this is something that you will fill out. And then the next thing that we do is click just on simply add cart, include the second image, and you do basically here the same, of course. And we use another one, add carts, and we use the third one, for example. Let's say you have 3. That's it, okay? You're going to use the exact same ad copy, the exact same headline, and you're going to only change basically the creatives, okay? So that's the only thing that you will do. Then I'm just going to always double check if everything then has been set up properly, which is, of course, you see errors here, of course, because I have not, for example, used the website URL, but that is of course obvious because I'm not going to actually launch this one, but this is how you set it up, right? This is how you set up a CBO campaign. That's it. Nothing more than it, okay? So what we do now is we're going to create an ABO. How do you do that, right? Oh, I turn this one off. I create a new one and create a new campaign. We use sales again, conversions, continue. That's all the same. So what we do now is we're going to call this, of course, ABO. And then, of course, product one, depending on what your product name is, with a profit margin of, let's say this one is maybe 31 or 32, let's say, you know, you have way more profit margin, which is good, right? Categories you don't need to do anything with. We, of course, turn this one off, and we don't gonna basically turn this one on because we are gonna use ad set level ads right now, campaigns, right? So ad set level budget allocation. So what we do for that is right now just clicking on next. And this will be, for example, a specific interest, right? A specific interest related to the product. So as you can see what I've done here, ad set 1 is no interest. Ad set 2 is interest 1 for product related interest. Interest 2, product related. Interest 3, product related. And interest 4 is going to be completely random, okay? Not product related. I will show you guys what I mean by that. So for the first one, this is going to be no interest. The exact same like we did for the CBO. But then on ad set level, okay? So in here, we have this all set up. This is going to be purchase, of course, again. And when we scroll down, we are going to spend, let's say 10 euros, or you can also do 10.88, however you want it. And we, of course, going to schedule it again for 1 a.m. Right? And now it's going to spend $10, in this case, pounds, on this specific ad set, okay, during the day. Then, of course, location, you're going to do exactly the same. So it's going to be, of course, related to where you're going to sell. And then, of course, you can include a language as well if you want to. And when we scroll down, this will all stay the same. So the next thing that we do, instead of duplicating it right now 5 times, what we want to do first is set up the ad creatives again. Why? Because if you're going to do first this duplication, then you need to do all these 3 ad creatives for each interest, or let's say each ad set specifically one by one. And that's not what we want. We want to do, we want to basically work smart, not hard in that sense. And that's what we're going to do right now. So this one will be, for example, again, image 1, ad copy 1. And for this ease also for you guys, I've just shown you guys as well how to use this, how to set this up, image 1, image 2, and carousel 1. So what I will do right now is not do that again to also respect your guys' time. I will quickly duplicate it 2 times, but I will not do that setup. Quickly duplicate it again. So we have 3 right now, and now we are going to duplicate this one 4 more times. Okay. 4 more. Duplicate. And then the only thing that we will change, as you can see right now, all these ones that we created are directly duplicated with it. Okay. So in no interest, you see here copy. What we're going to do is right now use an interest related to the product. So how do we do that? Okay. So we don't know the name yet. So what we will do in my case, it will be, let's say, a women code, right? So with that, I should have also included gender, for example, women. But you guys know what I mean by that, right? So what I will do, the only thing that I will do here, switch to original audience and use original audience, okay, in here. So in advantage audience, you have basically something like this right now as well. You want to switch it to original audience options and use the original version. And then in here, you can also use genders, for example, right? So for example, point it out to women if you want to. So to what we want to do is not use a custom audience, but use an audience that is related to the product. So in my case, it would be a code, right? So I think about fashion, for example. So I click on fashion and I see, for example, in here, specific words related to fashion. The bigger the audience size, the more possibility you have to find the right audience within that niche or interest, how you want to call it, right? So for example, fashion accessories is a very big one. And you have way and way more, right? You can also do something like clothing and whatever. But the hack about this is, which I will show you guys now as well. Let's say we'll take clothing right now and we copy this and then we just change the name. Then the next thing that we want to do is something related to clothing. So how do we do that? We go to the second one and we make this, for example, we scroll down, of course, do the exact same. And we're gonna use here again, clothing. So we click on it. What we do then, we click on suggestions, and you see all the suggestions that are related to clothing, which most likely people are also interested in when they're interested in clothing. Okay, so there would be, for example, online shopping, very big audience. I would use that, right? That will be our second one. And then we have one more related to this specific product. You can really point it out very specifically now. So for example, in this case, when we are selling a coat or a winter jacket, you can do, for example, jacket clothing, and you see 99 million to 117 million. You can even find out if there are more. You can also do something related to, there are so many options like shoes or whatever. Let's do jacket for now. Okay, I think it might be a good one also with the product you are selling, as it is a jacket. So people most likely with the buying behavior of jackets on Facebook might be interested in this one for this specific women product that we target, right? Then we of course have the no interest, and the other one what we use is basically a non-related random interest that has nothing to do with the product. Okay, because those products, or let's say interest, might also work really well. So we do the exact same thing. The only thing is we're just gonna think about something that is not related to the product that we are selling. So think about weather, think about nature, think about makeup, right? For example, makeup. Let's say women are very into makeup and ever, right? So when we use, for example, makeup, and we see makeup tutorials, all those kind of words related to it, it might be something that women are specifically interested in. Or those kind of like specific words normally do work really well. Cosmetics, right? Personal care, cosmetics. Women are always into cosmetics, so it might work really well for this product specifically, which has nothing to do with the product yet, right? So we see cosmetics, jacket, online shopping, clothing, and no interest, it equals in total 5, right, ad sets that we created with one broad targeting, one product related, second product related, third product related, and one random, right? This is the entire setup, guys, literally. Nothing more, nothing less. If you set it up like this and you're gonna launch it, you only need to click on publish and it will basically launch, and you have successfully launched your first campaigns. So I hope this was valuable to you, genuinely. In the next video, we're gonna together analyze ads, and I will show you guys as well a little bit more where we dive into my own ad account, right? Where we're gonna analyze some of the ads that I've used, what I did right, and also more importantly for you, what I did wrong in order to prevent what I did, so you can basically save yourself a lot of money, and with that, make yourself a lot of money, okay? At least that's my target. So with that, I'm super excited to see you guys in the next video. I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments what you think of it, and then we see each other in the next one. Have a very nice day, and then we see each other soon. Take care.